But in that exact moment, the Hat Man was right in his face. Laughing harder and louder, and with the most absolutely malicious presence imaginable. When he closed his eyes, he had an out-of-body experience where he was looking down at himself in the bed from the perspective of the Hat Man standing in front of him. Well, now, that's just fucked up. He has never been that scared in his life. He started running home. It seemed to chase him all the way there. He bolted into the door and locked it. He peered out the window. And the Hat Man was still there. Have you ever experienced a chilling presence in the dead of the night, lurking just beyond the edge of your vision? Have you ever woke up out of a dead sleep and caught something moving out of the corner of your eye? Or, even worse, you see a tall, shadowy figure standing in the doorway in front of you, and you can't move. A figure donning an old-fashioned hat, focusing on you with an unsettling intensity. Your heart is beating so fast, you think it's going to explode. If you have, you may have had a visit from the Hat Man. Throughout history, countless individuals from different cultures and walks of life have reported eerie encounters with the Hat Man. From the pages of folklore to the realms of modern-day paranormal discussions, this shadowy figure continues to perplex and unnerve those who dare to share their experiences. Reports of the Hat Man and other shadowy beings have been on the rise recently with a terrifying frequency. Thousands of people have encountered the Hat Man and have been both psychologically and physically harmed by it. Some folks say it's just a natural thing. But it's a whole different ballgame when you live it and feel it. In this video, I'm going to investigate the phenomenon that's been popping up a lot lately in the last 20 years or so that is scaring the shit out of folks. So, turn off your lights, grab some popcorn, and get ready for a creepy-ass psychological thrill ride. The origins of the Hat Man can be traced back through centuries of folklore, superstitions, and paranormal encounters. In different cultures and across various historical periods, similar accounts of a shadowy figure adorned with an old-fashioned hat have emerged, creating a tapestry of eerie legends. While specific references to the term Hat Man might not be present in ancient texts, the archetype of shadowy figures, dark entities, or ominous apparitions has appeared in various cultures throughout history. Tales of shadowy beings are prevalent in stories from different regions around the world. One prevalent belief suggests that the Hat Man is an omen of impending doom or disaster. In this interpretation, his appearance signals a prophecy of death or tragedy to those unfortunate enough to witness him. Such stories have been whispered around campfires and shared among communities, instilling a sense of fear and respect for the unknown. In some cultures, the Hat Man is seen as a malevolent spirit or an evil entity from the spirit realm. Folklore often depicts him as a collector of lost souls, forever trapped in the world of the living, searching for victims to add to his ghostly entourage. Interestingly, some historical accounts also associate the Hat Man with tales of shadow people. Entities that manifest as dark silhouettes have been a subject of fascination among paranormal enthusiasts. And many have said that the Hat Man is the boss of the shadow people. Well, he does wear the hat in that family. As we delve deeper into contemporary experiences, the Hat Man phenomenon takes a curious turn. Many folks report encountering him during episodes of sleep paralysis, where they find themselves temporarily unable to move while experiencing vivid and often terrifying hallucinations. Whether the Hat Man is a product of folklore, a psychological manifestation, or something beyond our current understanding, one thing remains clear. The lore of the Hat Man continues to capture the imagination of believers and skeptics alike. One of the most intriguing aspects I found out about the Hat Man phenomenon lies in the consistent and chilling descriptions provided by those who've encountered this enigmatic figure. Though experiences can vary, several key features seem to recur across numerous accounts, painting a haunting portrait of the Hat Man. The Hat Man is typically described as a tall and shadowy silhouette, 6 to 8 feet tall, clad in what appears to be an old-fashioned hat, which is commonly likened to a fedora or a top hat. He's reported to wear a trench coat, cloak, or dark suit, so he's got style. The majority of the encounters say the outline of the Hat Man is very sharp and solid looking, like a real being, not fuzzy around the edges and partially transparent like most shadow figures. Some have reported him to have red eyes, while the bulk of encounters states no distinguishable facial features. Several accounts reference a gold pocket watch on a chain, which he glances at from time to time. A few folks have said he carries a cane or a briefcase. There are a metric fuck ton of encounters out there. I must have read 50 or 60 of them. Most report nearly the same thing, so the first one I'll tell you about is going to be a pretty typical encounter with the Hat Man. Then we'll delve into some of the more obscure and creepy encounters. In an interview with the Hat Man Project website, Tim described his encounter with the Hat Man. I remember seeing what I have now come to believe was the Hat Man back in 1971 when I was 6 years old. I slept in a room by myself, and one night I woke up. I had no idea what time it was, but knew it had to have been in the wee hours of the morning. I woke to the presence of something in my room. When I looked up, there was a man standing next to my bed right by me, only inches away from me, and looking down at me. I couldn't see his face. It was just black. He had on a wide brim hat and a long black trench coat. He just stood there. I was terrified. I quickly pulled the covers over my head, my heart racing. I recited the Lord's Prayer in my head, as I was afraid to speak. It took me a few minutes to pick up the courage to peek out, but when I did, He was gone. The Hat Man laughed at me. One night while Bruce was asleep, he became suddenly aware and was sitting up in his bed. It was almost like he had sat up out of his body, as if he were astral projecting, although he knew he was asleep. And then he saw him. He was standing in the corner of his room, a large shadow man wearing an old school style brimmed hat. He also had glowing eyes. He was staring right at Bruce, slow and low rumbling, laughing at him. His friend's religious grandmother always told him if he ever came across a demon to scream, "In the name of Jesus Christ, I rebuke you." So that's what he did. Bruce isn't religious, so maybe the Hat Man sensed that he wasn't a true believer. But in that exact moment, the Hat Man was right in his face. Laughing harder and louder, and with the most absolutely malicious presence imaginable. He couldn't wake himself up and was experiencing what he thought was sleep paralysis. He finally woke up and has never seen him since. But to this day, Bruce knows whatever he encountered was evil and wanted to do him harm. He's always described this experience to folks as if he encountered some type of real-life demon. Years later, he found out this is a shared experience among many people. Bruce wondered, what the hell and what the fuck is this guy? Through the Hat Man's eyes. Josh lives in Australia. Oi! And the only time he has ever seen the Hat Man was when he was a teenager living with his family. He had never had any paranormal experiences, night terrors, or sleep paralysis. He doesn't recall any significant events around this time in his life, except for when his best friend in another state attempted suicide and subsequently became an amputee due to her injuries. He thinks this was after seeing the Hat Man, but he's not sure how long after. He was laying in bed one night, and a dark shadow of a tall man with a wide-brimmed hat and long coat or cape entered the room. He was facing the door. His bed was in the middle of the room because his walls were getting painted. With what? The shadow stood in the corner of his doorway for a few seconds. As he's scared of paranormal stuff, he decided to close his eyes and try to sleep. When he closed his eyes, he had an out-of-body experience where he was looking down at himself in the bed from the perspective of the Hat Man standing in front of him. Well, now, that's just fucked up. He mentioned it to his family soon after, as his mom is superstitious and believes in spirits. She brushed it off, but he didn't expect his older brother to speak up. His brother told him that when he was younger and staying in that same room, they liked to swap rooms every now and then. He saw the exact same man of the exact same description. His brother said he thought it was their uncle who was living with them at the time. Why would your creepy-ass uncle be in your room in the middle of the night? When he saw the Hat Man, he pulled the blanket up to cover most of his face and stared at the figure standing over his bed. He was followed home. Tony recalls when he came home from the Army, he and some of his buddies arrived at the airport in Oklahoma City, where he lives, at about 3 in the morning. There was really no one there but them and the janitors. Airports are kind of creepy at 3 a.m. I've been there. As he was looking down the sidewalk outside, he saw a hooded figure about 75 feet from where they were. Immediately, he was terrified for some odd reason. Right after, he alerted his friends, but then it was gone. Totally convinced it was just a mild hallucination from sleep deprivation, he just totally dismissed it. Soon after, his mom showed up to pick him up from the airport. On the way home, he needed to stop at a local 7-Eleven to use the ATM. When they were pulling into the parking lot, he saw it again in the back corner of the store. Tony ran in to see why this person was following him, but before he could get close, he disappeared. His mom must have been like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, son?" About a week later, he went out for a walk. It was a nice summer night and he couldn't sleep, so he went and walked up by his old neighborhood. He took a shortcut coming home and he saw the same figure standing under a tree in the schoolyard he was passing through. After Tony spotted him, he couldn't believe it until the Hat Man started moving towards him. It seemed to hover more than walk, but it was too dark to tell. At first, he was aggravated because this person was following him, but a strange sense of fear poured over him. He has never been that scared in his life. He started running home. It seemed to chase him all the way there. He bolted into the door and locked it. He peered out the window. And the Hat Man was still there. Tony felt like someone was hacking into his mind because as he thought back, the figure kept fading in and out of focus. It was really hard for Tony to explain. Not too long ago, a buddy of his told him about his experience, and Tony knew he wasn't alone. He figured there has got to be a serious reason why these things are here. For a while, he believed they might be made up in one's own imagination. But when the Hat Man started showing up in photos and in videos, it made him wonder. Explanations for the Hat Man phenomenon can be categorized into both logical and paranormal perspectives. It's important to note that these explanations are speculative, as encounters with the Hat Man remain a subject of mystery and intrigue. Let's start with the logical ones. Here we go. One of the most commonly proposed logical explanations for encounters with the Hat Man is sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is a sleep disorder where individuals temporarily experience an inability to move or speak while falling asleep or waking up. Basically, your brain wakes up before your body does. During episodes of sleep paralysis, some folks also have vivid hallucinations, which could include seeing entities like the Hat Man. Another is hypnagogic or hypnopompic hallucinations. Hypnagogic hallucinations occur during the transition from wakefulness to sleep, while hypnopompic hallucinations occur during transitions between sleep and wakefulness. These hallucinations can be vivid and realistic, and they might contribute to the perception of the Hat Man or similar entities. Other sleep disorders, like night terrors, can cause terrifying and vivid nightmares or hallucinations that could be interpreted as encounters with the Hat Man. And lastly, the most common explanation from skeptics of basically anything paranormal is pareidolia. Of course, that explains everything. Pareidolia is a psychological phenomenon where the human brain perceives familiar patterns or recognizable shapes, such as faces or animals, in random or ambiguous stimuli, like clouds, shadows, textures, or objects. In dimly lit environments, pareidolia could lead to the perception of a humanoid figure, a la the Hat Man. Now, for the supernatural side of the explanations. The most commonly agreed upon paranormal explanation for the Hat Man is that it's a shadow figure. This is due to the common characteristics of shadow figures and the Hat Man. They are dark silhouettes with no discernible facial features. They're commonly seen as human forms. They're almost always seen at night or in dark rooms. They're usually spotted out of the corner of one's eye. Witnesses often report feeling a sense of fear, dread, or unease during shadow people encounters. Shadow people are often described as vanishing suddenly or melting into walls or objects. These characteristics march in lockstep with the Hat Man. Some individuals in the paranormal community believe that the Hat Man is a malevolent entity from another realm or dimension, like the Grim Reaper, an alien, a demon, or even Lucifer himself. God damn, just go completely catastrophist, why don't you? Most interpret encounters with the Hat Man as being a nasty being with sinister intentions, and some say they didn't get scared at all when they saw him. Some individuals in the paranormal community believe that the Hat Man is the result of astral projection. Advocates of this theory believe that during sleep, individuals may unknowingly leave their physical bodies and enter the astral plane, where they can encounter other entities, such as the Hat Man. These encounters are usually perceived as intense or eerie, especially if the sleeper is not aware that they astral projected. Right? In conclusion, our exploration into the enigmatic world of the Hat Man has taken us on a captivating journey through a realm where the boundaries of reality and the supernatural seem to blur. From chilling eyewitness accounts to conflicting explanations, the Hat Man phenomenon has left an indelible mark on the collective imagination of those who've encountered this haunting figure. As we delve into the depths of the Hat Man's lore, we discovered a consistent pattern of its shadowy silhouette and its eerie association with malevolence and dread. Witnesses from diverse backgrounds and cultures have described encounters with this cryptic entity, and while the experiences may vary, the underlying sense of fear and unease remains a common thread. While logical explanations such as sleep paralysis and pareidolia offer valuable insights into some Hat Man encounters, paranormal explanations have equally captured the fascination of many. The notion of the Hat Man being a malevolent spirit or a shadowy being that traverses dimensions has ignited discussions within the paranormal community, sparking curiosity about the unknown and the potential existence of otherworldly entities. It's important to approach the Hat Man phenomenon with an open mind, recognizing that the complexities of human perception and the rich tapestry of cultural beliefs that influence our interpretations of such encounters. Whether one chooses to explore the psychological aspects or entertain the possibility of the supernatural, the Hat Man's allure lies in his capacity to tap into our deepest fears and spark contemplation about the mysteries that surround us. As we continue to probe the shadows for answers, it becomes evident that the Hat Man's strange presence goes beyond mere folklore or paranormal tales. The phenomenon's persistence throughout history and its relevance in contemporary accounts make it a subject worthy of continued research and investigation. As we move forward, I want to hear your own experiences, thoughts, and insights on this chilling topic. Let's come together as a community as we delve deeper into the realm of the Hat Man. Together, we shall remain curious, vigilant, and ever open to the mysterious forces that weave through our lives, shaping our understanding of the world and the shadows that dwell within it. Thank you for joining me on this extraordinary expedition into the mystery of the Hat Man. And a super monster thank you for watching this far into my video. As the end draws near, I'll leave you with an unsettling thought. Could the Hat Man be more than just a figment of imagination? In the darkness, a haunting question lingers. What if, one night, you find yourself face to face with the Hat Man? Will it be a mere hallucination or something far more sinister? As we shiver in anticipation, the line between reality and the unknown blurs. Stay vigilant, for in the darkest corners, the Hat Man awaits, watching, waiting, haunting your dreams. Until next time, stay creepy!